The theater was wrapped in silence when Marcus Reed's voice sliced through the air. "Mic off," he muttered sharply, stepping back from the spotlight. The technician obeyed, at least he thought he did. Marcus's microphone went dead. But hers didn't. "Don't cry, little one," Marcus whispered, unaware his words echoed through the massive hall. "You'll understand someday." The audience froze. Thousands of people held their breath. What happened next was something no one in that room would ever forget. For hours earlier, 12-year-old Lena Parker had stood in the same theater, her hands trembling as she clutched her music sheet. Her stomach growled softly, reminding her she hadn't eaten since morning. At home, food was rationed carefully. The heater worked in only one room of their small apartment, and winter nights were bitter. Lena slept in short, stolen hours during the day. At night, she cooked macaroni and cheese for her two younger brothers, helped them with homework, and tucked them into bed before practicing her scales in a whisper so she wouldn't wake them. Money was always a question. Can we afford this? Not this month. Maybe next year. Lena had been singing since she was 5. At church, people often turned around mid-prayer just to see where that voice was coming from. Once, after a service, the choir director gently pulled her mother aside. "Your daughter has perfect pitch," he said softly. "1 in 10,000 people can identify any note just by hearing it. She hears music differently than the rest of us." Her mother smiled, proud, but tired. "What are we supposed to do with that?" she asked. "Training." "Conservatory," the man replied, then paused. "But it costs money." Lena didn't know her voice was rare. She only knew that singing felt right, like breathing. High notes rang in her chest like bells, pure and effortless. Then the letter arrived at Roosevelt Middle School. Lena had been selected to perform as part of the children's choir at the Ethan Blackwell Charity Gala, a nationally televised event. The school erupted with excitement. 20 students would stand on a real stage, backing one of the most famous singers in the world. Her mother bought her a white blouse from a discount store. It wasn't perfect, but it was clean, new, and chosen with love. Ethan Blackwell was known as the voice of a generation. For platinum albums, 2 Grammy Awards, endorsements from global brands. But what truly made him legendary was his signature note, a whistling C6 at the end of his biggest hit. No one else could reach it. At least, that's what the world believed. During sound check that afternoon, Lena noticed something strange. Ethan started strong. His voice was smooth, polished, expensive. But when he reached for that famous high note, something went wrong. His voice cracked. Not just cracked, collapsed, nearly 2 full steps lower than it should have been. He stopped abruptly. "Turn the track up," he snapped at the engineer. "I can't hear myself." The next attempt sounded different. The note floated perfectly, flawless and bright. Too perfect. Lena's heart pounded. She had perfect pitch. She could hear the difference between a live voice and a recording, the digital shimmer, the artificial layering, the way the sound sat unnaturally above the music. That note didn't come from his throat. It came from the speakers. When the performance began that night, the audience cheered wildly. Cameras rolled. Lights blazed. Lena stood among the choir, barely visible behind Ethan Blackwell. Then came the final chorus. Ethan gestured dramatically, lifting the microphone as the music swelled. And then silence. His mic cut out unexpectedly. The backing track failed. But Lena's microphone stayed on. Panic flickered across Ethan's face. He leaned toward Lena, whispering urgently, thinking no one could hear. "Don't sing," he hissed. "Just mouth the words." The audience heard everything. The hall went still. Lena's heart raced. Her knee shook. She thought of her brothers. Of her mother's tired smile. Of every time she had whispered songs into the dark so no one would hear. Then she sang. The note rose effortlessly from her chest, pure and clear, soaring higher than anyone expected. It wasn't forced. It wasn't practiced for applause. It was honest. People gasped. Some stood without realizing it. Tears streamed down faces across the hall. The note that the world believed belonged to Ethan Blackwell now belonged to a child in a white blouse from a discount store. When the music ended, there was silence. Then thunder. The applause lasted nearly 5 minutes. Ethan stepped back, stunned. That night didn't end a career. It began one.